You don't need more leads. What you need to make more money. And you need to do that faster. And the truth is, slow sales aren't caused by, slow prospects or a slow market. They're caused by slow energy. Your energy. You can't close fast if you're still doubting your own value, if you're hesitating in your pitch, if you're leaking uncertainty into every single call you make. And the longer that you wait to align your mindset, your own self-belief system with your goals, the longer your results will wait for you. So look, let me show you what's really slowing you down and how to shift into high-speed action. Sales speed comes from frequency, not force. And what I mean by frequency is I don't mean the number of times you do something. I'm talking about your vibrational frequency, what you tune into, the energy signature that you have. So your sales speed comes from your energy frequency, not from you, forcing a deal or persuading people or convincing people. See, if you're trying to close faster, you have to stop treating sales like it's a numbers game. Because, if you're treating it like a numbers game, then the numbers game is played fast, right? The numbers game is let's get through these as fast as we can. And what you want to do is you want to go from treating this like a numbers game and start treating this as kind of this elegant dance of an energy game. See, your results will never move faster than your dominant belief about money. See, you have a relationship with money. You have a relationship with money. You have a belief about money. You have a belief about how much money you're worth. And if you don't believe that, then let me ask you this. How much money did you make last year? Last year, April 15th, what did you report? What did you report to the IRS? And my question is if you believe that you are worth more, if you think that you're better than that number, then where's the money to prove it? Money doesn't lie. Results don't lie. I'm going to bet that if you think about how much money you made last year, just think about that. Let's say you made $180,000 a year. I bet if you made $180,000 a year, you have an idea that you're worth more. I bet if you made 50 grand last year, you absolutely know you're worth more than $50,000. And I bet you know people who made more than you made last year. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm smarter than them. You're thinking to yourself, I work harder than them. You're thinking to yourself, I bring more value than them. But your results don't show that. See, it's not what you say you believe. It's what you believe. The early Greeks referred to this as your sanctum sanctorum, your heart of hearts. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. They weren't talking about your physical heart. They were talking about your heart of hearts. Your self-belief and your results, your ability to close deals, that's never going to move faster than your dominant belief about money, your relationship with money, how much money you think you're worth, your ability to serve, and your understanding that there is the you factor in every deal. Many people can buy what I sell. You can buy sales content anywhere, sales training content. It's everywhere. My goodness, I give hours of it away for free on YouTube. But here's what I know, is if this content in and of itself could change your life, it would cost you money to go to the library. It would cost you money to use Google. The truth is that the highest value is that you watch a video like this and then you make a decision to say, you know what, that guy's talking to me. What this guy says sounds right. Let me meet with him. Let me join the program. Let me spend some time with them. That's when things can really change. See, you can't attract at a high speed income if you have this low frequency mindset. And there's no amount of content that's going to give it to you. This takes real mentorship. You've got to do the work, but you can't do it alone. It's one of the beautiful things about personal growth and self-development is, yes, it is self-development. But when you self-develop, you self-develop on the borrowed belief from somebody else. You self-develop from somebody that you really trust, who has results that you want in the area of your life that you want them. And you know that they're going to help you, that they're going to help point out your blind spots, that they're going to show you things that you can't see. That's when things really begin to change. When you can begin to make those kinds of frequency changes in your mindset, then not only does the number of deals close increase, but the speed in which you do it increases. See, in the Martinelli sales method, we don't chase. We calibrate. Not collaborate. We collaborate for sure, but we calibrate. What we do in every single thing, in every part of our training, is we help you raise the emotional vibration of your intention. What is your commitment objective in this interaction with your client? Let's think about, what is the desired outcome? Is it to get them to take a call? Is it to schedule an appointment? Is it for them to make a decision? Is it for them to look at some information? Not every sales, conversation is focused on the close. This is why the ABCs of always be closing doesn't work. Sometimes the commitment objective isn't to close. Your client's not ready. And so what a lot of people do is operating from this ABC of closing is they force, they try to manipulate, coerce, convince the client to make a decision. And the client says, oh, sure, this sounds great. Well, absolutely, send me the information and we'll get right back to you. And you think you walk out of there, aha, see, I was able to influence them. I could manipulate them. I used all the right catchy phrases, and then they turn into Casper the Friendly Ghost. And then you don't understand, like, well, why aren't they calling me back? The meeting went great. They liked me. They really liked me. But they're not calling you back. They were never going to call you back. They weren't buying what you were selling. They were polite. That's what they were being. They were being polite. They didn't want to tell you to your face, we're not ready. We're not making a decision today. We're starting a process of evaluating where we are. We're starting a process and we're looking for a partner who's willing to walk this process with me. See, if we can calibrate what the desired commitment objective is, then we can calibrate our own emotional vibration and our attachment to what that commitment is, so that it matches the pace of the decisions that our clients want and need to make. So ask yourself, are you broadcasting confidence and clarity, or confusion and desperation? See, real certainty isn't about how loud or how forceful or how, elegant you sound. It's about whether your energy calibrates and matches with your message. Do the words match the music? See, prospects don't buy because you're convincing. They buy because you're congruent. They buy because you're congruent. They buy because they really believe that when you say that you care about them, that it matters, that they feel that. I was leading a company called the John Maxwell Team. I started the company back in 2010. We were in a year where we were doing about $26 million. I was spending about $150,000 a month on marketing. And I was bringing in, I was looking to make a change in our marketing. I was bringing some people in, and this one guy came in and he was talking about, at his agency, they're all about service and he's all about service, and service is the number one thing. And, they show up for their clients, blah, 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 blah. And so after he said all the right things, I asked him a question. I said, can you share with me, give me a real example in the last 6 months where things were going sideways and you stepped in and you got things fixed, where maybe your client was working with your marketing department, your writing team, your video team or whatever, and the video team wasn't getting it and your client didn't feel they were getting it, and where you showed up and you really saved the day. It was like I was talking to the wall. Blank stare. There had never been a time. See, there had never been a time where he really saved the day with service. There's never a time where he really committed himself to making service number one. He talked about it. He knew that was important to say, but he had never done it. He couldn't give me one example. I said, well, you've been with the company for how long? 7 years? Just give me one example. One time in the 7 years where things were going sideways. After the deal, 6 months, 7 months into the engagement, where your team may have been dropping the ball, or maybe your client was dropping the ball. Things got sideways. and you stepped in and saved the day. Give me one time. He couldn't give me one because there wasn't one. He was exposed right there. Not one time. You know what he said? He says, well, to be honest, like after you sign and you go through the onboarding, I'm not really that involved. Well, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said you're there from beginning to end. Like you never go away. This is a long-term, deep, meaningful relationships. Is that what you said? People don't buy because you say the right things. They buy because you're congruent and they feel it and they know it. And when they ask you for evidence, you've got the evidence. You've anticipated the question. It's not a value of yours if you haven't walked it. That's a theory. You can't tell me that you value customer service if you haven't walked it. If you don't get involved in that part of the deal, after you sell, you're not involved with that. See, every single thing you say and the energy in which you say it either builds certainty or moves people away from certainty. If the frequency is off, even slightly, the decision-making process slows down. I don't care how fast they need it. It slows down. It's kind of like, if you're driving down the road and you're trying to tune into 97.9 Country K radio station and you're at 97.7, you can hear the songs, but there's static. It's not a clear signal. And the only way you get a clear signal is either the station needs to move or you need to move. And what I'm suggesting is that you need to move. You need to move in a different direction. If you know that your income is below the value you bring, the only reason why your income is lower than the value you bring is because either you haven't internalized in a level of self-belief the value you bring, or you haven't learned how to communicate your value in an effective way. You haven't been able to demonstrate the value you bring in a meaningful, significant way. See, certainty doesn't mean that you sound bold. Certainty isn't about you saying the right words in the right tonality. Certainty means that you're grounded, that you're congruent. It means being emotionally regulated. Even when objections show up, that's the best time for you as a salesperson. You should welcome the objection because this allows you to differentiate yourself from everybody else. This allows you to truly talk about your value, about what you value, about how you walk those values. So when somebody says, let me check with my husband, let me check with my wife, absolutely, Jim, look, I completely understand that. When I'm making decisions like this, I want to check with my wife, Holly, as well. I completely get that. And what I'd like to do is, if you're going to bring Holly into the conversation, if it would help you, I'd be willing to set up a time where I can be with you. And if I can give you any resources, like when you think about talking this over with Holly, is she going to want to understand the finances side of things? Is she going to understand the schedule side of things? How do I help you best in that conversation? Assuming, of course, that you like the idea. Let me ask you that first. Do you like the idea? Does the idea make sense to you? All things being equal, is this something you would like to do? Does it make sense? Because if it doesn't, I understand that. But if this is something you really want to do, yeah, it is, great. Well, then right? So what I'm doing is I'm using that opportunity for the objection for me to really shine, for me to show, look, let me help you and let me show you how I can help you. Would it help you if I were to line up a couple of testimonials? Some of our past clients that they would talk to Holly. I've got some other spouses that you could talk to, some other wives who were part of this decision. Would Holly find talking to one of them helpful? I don't get emotionally upset. I don't get angry or offended when somebody brings up an objection. I get excited about it. I've created a tool that I'd love for you to download. It's called the Sales Energy Assessment. It's a tool that I created for my own sales team. And what it does is it really kind of helps you uncover what's really slowing you down. Like, where is your energy off? Where is, what you say and what you believe not matching? This isn't just another kind of tactics checklist. It's a diagnostic tool. In a matter just of a couple of minutes, it shows you exactly where your energy is out of alignment, where you may be incongruent with your goals, and how that misalignment silently kind of sabotages your results. And this tool will help you identify the hidden mindset blocks, the limiting beliefs, and really the frequency leaks that are holding you back, that stop you from building and acting with confidence. And more importantly, it shows you how to make this shift. So download the assessment. It's in the link right where the description is. And then what I want you to do is come right back. And I'm going to show you how all of this ties together to start making money even faster than you've ever thought possible. Let me share with you. Your prospects speed up in direct proportion to your ability to match their desired energy. See, they have a desired outcome. That's why they called you. There's something that they want or something that they need. And they have in their mind what the solution looks like. They know what they know what they want. Now, oftentimes, the way they know what they want is they're absolutely certain about what they don't want, right? So the way they know what they want is what they know that they don't want. We don't want this. So tell me what you can do for us so that this doesn't happen. But the speed at which they make that decision is at the speed of their ability to connect with you and for you to be able to communicate your understanding of what it is that they want and need and your value in helping them get it. See, the speed of a decision is determined by the emotional state that you co-create with your prospect. You can never get a speedy decision if you guys are on opposite pages. And it's not just about the information. I say it all the time. Selling is not telling. This is why rapport, real rapport, isn't optional. Rapport is a delivery system for certainty. It's not just know, like, and trust. It's much deeper than that. And without it, you're not just moving slowly. What's worse than moving slowly is moving in circles, right? Being real busy, but accomplishing nothing. Remember, sales isn't about you pressuring. It's not about you convincing. It's about you creating absolute clarity in their mind that you understand what their desired outcome is. You understand what their problem is. You understand what their urgency is. And that they understand with absolute certainty that you understand. And then it's about you holding space for a decision, not you trying to force one. See, it's time to stop thinking that you need to push people and start learning how to hold a calibrated space, a calibrated frequency of energy long enough for a decision to kind of rise to the surface, that the decision becomes the next logical thing to do. If you've done it right, you don't even have to make the ask. You don't have to ask them, well, would you like to buy? It's like you've described everything that they've been looking for. You've shown them all the things that you can do. You've ticked every single one of their worry boxes. You've built this level of absolute trust and certainty that you're going to be there. And then they start to ask buying questions. Like if we were to sign up today, how long would it take? Like if we were like, what's this cost? See, that's a buying question. Like if we were to do this, how long does the contract last? See, done right, you should even have to ask for the sale. The sale is just the next logical step. You have to think in terms of energy. And then you have to act in a structured plan. Now, look, like when we think about fast money doesn't happen without structure. Fast money doesn't happen. It's not guesswork. Fast money, fast decisions it's mapped out. And once it's mapped out, it becomes part of a proven and repeatable, predictable process. And you have to enter every single conversation, every interaction with a plan for the energy that you're going to transfer. So it starts with what's the commitment objective? In order for this commitment objective to be made and accomplished, what does my energy need to be? And what does their energy need to be? How can I communicate in a way that begins to transfer my energy as the dominant authority, expert energy in the conversation, that I can transfer that energy to this other person so that I can begin to shift their energy from one of, uncertainty, one of doubt, one of confusion to absolute certainty. Like, what tonalities can I use? Let me just say this. Your sales system, it doesn't need to be complicated. What it needs to be is it needs to be consistent. Never underestimate the compounding effect of consistency. This is how you stack trust. So just try this out. If you'll take just those first 4 seconds, script out those first 4 seconds that you're opening, your intelligence gathering. Think of the first 4 seconds of each chunk of this system and practice it until your nervous system just automatically does it. It just breathes it. Do you ever see, how a dancer moves? Do you ever see how an athlete, think of a gymnast on the beam, how their body just absolutely flows perfectly. Their entire nervous system is completely programmed. The timing is impeccable. Every single space of the beam, every inch that they occupy, every breath that they take. It's like this very elegant dance. And so think about the chunks of your script, the chunks of each section. So there's the first 4 seconds. There's the opening, right? There's the reason for the call, the declaration statement. There's the introduction to the intelligence gathering. Every single one of these, you should be really working with your own energy so that you're able to flow this, that you're breathing, your mind is clear, that it's so rehearsed and so practiced that it just feels naturally. I share a story. One of my clients' daughter was the lead in the play Wicked on Broadway. And I had an opportunity to go and see her perform it. And it was my first time seeing the play. She had been doing the play 6 times a week for the last 5 years. It was my first time hearing it. And it didn't sound rehearsed at all. It sounded like everything that they were saying was just like flowing right from them. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel rehearsed. It didn't feel practiced. It felt natural. They had gotten to a point where they had taken the words and their body movement and the energy and the commitment objective of where they were trying to take the audience's energy. And they had programmed it into their central nervous system to such a degree that it just flowed from them beautifully and naturally. If you're a professional, if you're in sales, why would you not be at the same level of commitment for what you're doing? And I'm going to suggest that if you're not willing to make that kind of an investment to really become a master, then what are you doing in sales? Get out of sales. You'll get crushed here. This is at its highest level, it's a commission only game. The good news is that there's no cap to what you can earn. Salespeople are the highest paid profession in the world. There's no cap. The bad news is that if you're not willing to do the work, you could stay stuck at average and you can let a decade of your life go by and never find your true passion and never become a master at anything. See, this level of excellence isn't rushed. And I think what happens is most people think what they need to do is like they pressure themselves, just like they try to pressure the prospect, they pressure themselves. How we do anything is how we do everything. But if we really want to develop speed, it's not about forcing or pressure. It's about repetition. It's about becoming prepared so that it just naturally flows, that you don't ever have to get ready. You're automatically ready wherever you are. See, I can go into my sales presentation, whether I'm at dinner, whether I'm in line at a Starbucks, whether I'm at a football game. See, when you know your message and you understand your market and you understand your prospects, what their challenges are, and you have the ability to kind of hold emotional congruence, speed, it just becomes natural. It's not something that has to be forced. And the faster that you can align your own inner belief with your outer behavior, the faster and quicker your prospect can align to a buying decision. This is what I was talking about when I talked about calibration. So ask yourself, what would it look like for you to really expect fast decisions? Rather than just hoping for them, what would it look like for you to really expect fast decisions? And what can you do to create that expectation? Now, look, if you haven't taken the time yet to download the Sales Energy Assessment, don't just kind of skip this step. You're here because you want to make money and you want to make it faster, but you can't fix what you won't face. And this tool is going to show you exactly where your energy, where your mindset, where your belief system, where your message is out of sync with your goals and where it's out of sync with your client's goals, and it's going to help you correct it. This isn't fluff. This isn't just a checklist. This brings clarity. Clarity removes confusion. Confused people do nothing. So clarity creates speed. So the link again, it's right there in the description. And once you've taken the assessment, I want you to take the next step, and that is to watch this next video. It's titled Secrets to Mastering Cold Calling. Because, see, even the most dialed in energy won't close the deal in your first 10 seconds if it doesn't land. And this video is going to show you how to build instant rapport, how to hold authority, and how to open up every single sales call with confidence. Your next level of growth starts right there. I'll see you inside.